You would like to know how to overcome Parkinson's law. In this video, I will briefly explain what Parkinson's law is and how it affects your time management. But since there are hundreds of videos about this law available on YouTube, I will focus less on what it is and more on how to actually beat it. To support you in that process, I will give you 3 steps that will help you to overcome the law once and for all. If you can reduce the impact of Parkinson's law just by a couple of %, you will see phenomenal gains in your productivity. Make sure to stay until the end of the video when I will share with you in what situation this productivity hacking can also backfire. And now, without further ado, welcome to Shribe. Parkinson's law states that work will always expand to fill the time available for its completion. I will read that sentence again. Work will always expand to fill the time available for its completion. This still fascinating statement was made by Cyril Northcote Parkinson, a famous British historian and author, in 1955. If one believes in this law, which I do, then the complexity of a task is not the decisive factor for the amount of time it takes to complete, but rather the deadline you give it. And that is simply incredible. According to Parkinson's law, your work will magically expand to fill the time available to you. A research paper for which you have 6 weeks will take you 6 weeks. If your deadline is in 3 weeks, you will complete the work with the same quality in 3 weeks. The complexity of the 6-week paper is only seemingly higher or perceived as higher. In reality, the degree of complexity does not differ. The more time you have to complete a task, the longer the period of tension. You constantly have it in your head that you still have to finish the task. You are tense and perhaps even stressed. If you reduce the time, you also reduce the amount of stress you subject yourself to. It may sound strange, but it's true. Parkinson's law does not assume that a task should be completed faster than necessary. It states that the time we give ourselves for a task is far too generously calculated. In reality, you need much less time to write a paper than you think. Either you plan a buffer or you simply set your personal deadline to the point where you have to start the next task. Taking all the time you need is good, but using your time meaningfully is better. With knowledge of Parkinson's law, you can save valuable time. You just have to consider it in your planning. In the last couple of years, I gained a lot of experience with Parkinson's law. When I started to write articles for my blog and produced a video on the same topic for my German YouTube channel, I gave myself until Sunday afternoon. That's when the content usually went live. Now you can guess when I finished usually with everything. Always on Sunday around noon. It did not matter how busy my work week was. Sometimes I was on a business trip and had 1,000 other things to do. Sometimes the week had a public holiday and gave me plenty of time to write. And yet, I always finished on Sunday around noon. It's crazy. You will be surprised at how quickly you can complete a task if you allocate less time to it. Parkinson's law does not say that you should work harder. It says that you should do the work that is necessary in less time. And that seems paradoxical, but it works. If you assign the right amount of time to a task, you will gain time back. Additionally, the complexity of your task will be reduced to its natural state. You probably know it yourself. On a study day in the library, you set out to work through the lecture notes of a course. You start in the morning, get yourself a coffee, and continue for a little bit. Then it's already time for lunch. All of a sudden, you bump into someone you meet randomly from another class. Then you go back to the lecture notes, but don't forget the afternoon snack. Wait, who's messaging you on Instagram? And done, your day is over. You spent 7 hours in the library studying and worked through the lecture notes. But your net working time is 3 hours, max. If you hadn't mentally assigned the whole day to the lecture notes, but only 4 hours, you would have had a free afternoon and still completed your workload. Or you would have worked through the second set of notes as well. Now let's come to the 3 steps I would recommend you to overcome Parkinson's law. You can implement these steps immediately. First, halve the deadline. For your next submission, be it a paper, report, or presentation, just half the time you give yourself to complete it. Pretend it's really serious and enter your own deadline in your calendar. Don't say things like, I will finish this and that by the end of the week. Instead, say things like, I will finish it by the end of the day. What could possibly go wrong? Second, apply deep work. To outsmart Parkinson's law, you need a solid productivity technique. Read Deep Work by Cal Newport if you haven't done so already. It will change your life. The essence of it is that you plan distraction-free time slots throughout your day in which you work on the thing that matters most to you. It sounds quite underwhelming, but be honest to yourself. Are you immune to the distractions on your phone and your computer? I'm not. Deep work will teach you how to tame them. Do you have what it takes to turn your back on all those distractions? Now, before we get to the third step, please consider to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content. This will help me out a lot. Third, have fun playing against the clock. Don't take it too seriously. Imagine you could save 30% or even more time with your newly acquired knowledge of Parkinson's law. That would be fabulous, but you shouldn't torture yourself because of it. If you lose the fun, no productivity technique in the world is sustainable. See it as a game. It is all about consistency and slow growth. Keep doing the work and you'll become a winner. But now a word of caution about trying to beat Parkinson's law. There's another saying that is as true as Parkinson's law. It states that if you have good time management, you will be rewarded with even more work. If you're a student, entrepreneur, or someone who works for himself, that's fine. Overcoming Parkinson's law will positively affect you as long as you keep a healthy balance and take care of your physical and mental health. If you are working for somebody else, being quick means that you will get a reputation for that. For example, if you are really quick at answering emails, you will not reduce your workload with emails, but actually increase it. Once people know you reply quickly, they keep sending you more emails. The same happens with projects. If you finish them quickly, you will just end up getting more of them assigned to you. The risk here is that you will not be rewarded for the work you do. Another risk is that co-workers will feel intimidated by you finishing work more quickly than it is expected or than they do. It can be seen like an attack or undermining their own way of managing their time. Consequently, the best possible situation for Parkinson's law to be overcome is when the outcomes are directly contributing to you and only you. Keep crushing your goals.